Hello, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. Let me know if you can hear me clear without that tubish sound that I sometimes hear when I get the recording back. And so I can be sure at least the quality of the voice, sound quality, quality of the voice, sound quality is good. All right, let's see who's here. Welcome everyone here. Everyone is actually 3. I thought my eyes are not seeing right. I thought it's 3,000. For heaven's sake, we deserve it, don't we? After 10 years, it's 4 people. What the hell am I doing here anyhow? So let's go to the first super chat. And perhaps first and the only, it's our channel is not famous for being financially supported. So we are welcoming these surprises. We have Fab Gaz. Conscientious motivation says we hear you clear. Okay, thank you very much for that. And don't forget the protocol, age, gender, where you tuning in from. It helps me out a little bit. Now, getting back to our first caller, Fab Gaz. Okay. It says male 17 US. He says, as of about a year ago, I had decided to stop making friends because I felt I get attached to people so easily, too easily. Now I feel needy. No, now I feel ready to try again, but I feel over my time of isolation, I have realized I now have developed a really bad social anxiety. And I feel the only way to engage with people is to pretend I'm someone else or give myself a fake personality. Okay, I'm waiting for a specific question, or is it just generally you want to know what to do? Fab. And let me know what part of US are you at? East Coast, West Coast, which state? And include a specific question, if you will, like after the explanation that you just did. So you want to know what to do? Is that what you're trying to say, or are you saying that? I guess that's a question. All right. Or you want to know why you're doing this? Huh. Okay. I think I know what I want to share with you, but let me read it again just to refresh my mind in the sequence of discussion. Male 17 US 17. All right. First of all, 17 is the age that you are trying to prove you're something important and you like people's affirmation because that's how you gauge yourself in that age. You're really concerned about how people see you rather than how you are, who you are, what you prefer, as far as your involvement in world, in life, and you don't have that confidence in you to value your own standards and setting or footing. Instead, you're relying on other people affirming you, approving you. So, for that basis, you're very eager to be accepted. So, we go back, the roots of the problem would be fear of rejection. You want to be noticed as an important, valuable, positive, capable person deserving kudos, which is a normal thing that we most, that's why at that age we get involved in things that we think we can shine in, such as sports or maybe chess or different athletic interests to show off a little bit. At the same time, it's our interest, but we're really seeking that fame, that attention. Because remember, most of the things in life we do until we find ourselves really become really confident and operate on a solid foundation based on our experiences and education and how we socially and academically inform ourselves. Before all that happened, we seek attention for people to notice our being here, surviving. We are something, somebody, and I want somebody to notice me. Ah, that's Mehran. You know, often you think when you're walking around, you think that you're being watched. Like you think some entity is judging you, watching you from above, which is your own thoughts. But you think it's the actual intelligence or God, you might want to call it, or some angel or some entity, something that is very important and you're trying to impress it, that 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 visor, that watcher. Hmm? Yet that all is in your own thoughts. You created that, but you consider that as outside of you, watching you, and you behave in a certain way, you act in a certain way, you talk in a certain way, you wonder how it looks, your performance, your activities, your negotiation in life to the eyes of the watcher that you've created by your own thoughts, but thinking it's not your thoughts, thinking there's an actual entity that is judging you, watching you, and you want to impress it. So in that way, you kind of put up a show a little bit because you seek that attention and that you want to engage that interest of that judge, that watcher. Now, that, which is a natural state for every young person, it makes you think that you're doing it because you need to do it because you're not pleased with your own self. That's not true. It's because you just want the attention and you want people to notice you as someone extraordinary, to differentiate you between all the things that is out there and you. We all want to stand out. That's why we go into competitions. We want to, get a trophy. All this whole behavior that has been conditioned in our consciousness since childhood, that I'm not enough. I got to be more. If you notice from childhood, we've always been conditioned to believe that we are not enough. I got to be more. The teacher gives us a star if we score well in the elementary. I want that star. Why? Because it makes me noticed by the teacher, and others will give me a little bit of an echelon of, oh, that star describes this student, this kid. So I'm no longer really who I am. I'm seeking certain kind of labels, so those labels would introduce me to the others and to the society, which instills in me a certain kind of a actorship since childhood, that I got to perform other than how I am, just so others will see me in a certain frame of work as it is accepted and promoted by the society. And that conditioning takes place from childhood. You've always been compared by maybe parents or teachers or aunt and uncle. See, so-and-so's daughter is so nice. Look at her clothing is very chic and her hair is combed. Or uncle says, or somebody says, look at your uncle's son, he always gets A's. He's so good at sports, or he's always polite. All conditioning. Be polite, be respectful, be obedient. Parents and many of the family members, without really realizing, they've been conditioned to condition you for the society to be a good little obedient citizen when you grow up. So always instill in you, you're not good enough. You got to be more. So this intention or interest in being more causes you to seek attention, causes you to seek affirmation, causes you to seek approval of the others who really don't matter in your life, but you think they do, because it's not them that you think they matter. You think their opinion sets the tone for who you are. Their opinion makes you who you are. That's what you think. This is the biggest bullshit we've been fed on. Instead of thinking, who the fuck are these people that they have the right, or I expect them to actually define me by the way they judge my behavior or the way I live or negotiate my life, rather than you simply understanding that they themselves are trying to have other people approve of them. The people that I'm seeking approval from to feel good about myself, so I behave weirdly or differently other than what I am, like as you said, in a character, in a kind of a show that you put up, they themselves, that I'm so eager and concerned about what they think about me, so I put up a show, are looking for somebody else to approve them. Have you ever thought of that? Because your psyche is not unique. Everybody's psyche is pretty much the same up here. The needs, the fears, all is the same. So the very ones that you're trying to impress and feel shy, that you have to act in some way to be accepted and all that shit, that you can't be yourself, you got to be better than, because you're conditioned to be more, and you're sold the bill that you're not enough. So you think by catching a different character, you'll be more than what you are, because you're convinced you're not enough, which is a bullshit. And you want affirmation of others to approve you that you are actually somebody more than who you are. They themselves are looking for other people to approve of them, to be accepted. They are putting a show somewhat maybe themselves too, if they're young enough. So if you think all of these is because of the conditioning you've received, there's nothing wrong with you. But you just got to realize that the very ones that you're trying to impress or have an excuse to present yourself or negotiate or communicate, interact with them, are also going through the same shit, possibly, and trying to get other people's approvals so they will feel good about themselves. Yet you think they don't have such worries. They already know who they are, and they already know very comfortably, and they're better than you, and they can be the judge, and you present yourself to them instead of thinking that they are actually having the same human psyche, same shortcomings, and going through the same thing. So the first thing you want to do, you got to realize what I just told you, that there's nothing wrong with you. No need to put up a show, because those assholes that you're trying to impress, they're just as they have the same shortcomings that you think you have. And they have the same fears that you think you have. You don't think they do because they don't come out and tell you what's in their heads, and they put up a front and they pretend they don't, but they do. So who are you really trying to impress? Somebody who's actually possibly even weaker than you in confidence? First, see through them, that the ones that you're trying to impress are no better than you. They actually could have more fears and concerns and anxieties that you do. Second things I want to do, every time you feel anxiety, social anxiety to interact with people, imagine them all naked, only with their with their underwear. Just imagine them, they have shoes and underwear, nothing else. Well, if they're women, you can imagine a bra on them too, a bikini. So when you consider them in their underwear, suddenly you can see that the role of their clothing, or how they comb their hair, or how their facial expression is, suddenly falls by the wayside, and they're not represented by that what they're wearing, or the watch they're wearing, or the posture they have. They are now seen as nothing better than you, and in fact inferior to you, because you have clothes on. But if you look at them, or imagine them if they're sitting on the crapper and they're trying to push their shit out, you suddenly see that they're humans. They're not better than you. They're just happen to be facing a person like you who thinks that they're better than them, and therefore you think they are, but in fact they're not. They have the same fears and concerns. You just don't see it because you can't be in their brain. But never forget, if you don't see them, if they have problems, you can't see them physically, they can't see you have any problems. So you don't have to put up a show at all, because they are under the impression that you're better than them. And if you just own who you are, own it. I don't care. Tall, short, fat, skinny. I don't care what you are. Smart, not smart. Doesn't matter. You are unique in every shape and form and different than them. And being different, that sets the equality. Being different doesn't mean you're less or more. It just means you're not less. And you're different. Every one of us are different. So you don't have to focus to impress the others, because the others actually could be looking to impress you. They don't know what's in your head. They have no idea about your anxieties. Only you do. And because you do, you think they don't. You think they know it too. They don't. And you don't have to have anxiety. Why? Who are they? Where did they come from? Their mother's womb. How they were grown up. Same thing. Ate the same food you ate. Went to school. What have they accomplished that you're so weary about impressing them? What? What have they accomplished in this world? Have they fed all the hungry people? Raised and protected children? What? How have they made this world a better place that you are so impressed by them? They haven't done a thing. They're another 17-year-old, 16-year-old, 18-year-old, 19-year-old, 20-year-old, 25-year-old, 30-year-old. They're finding their way in this universe. They have the same fears and shortcomings. Just because you don't know what their problems are and challenges are, that doesn't mean that they don't have it. So, in fact, you could be far above every one of them in confidence. You just think you're not because you don't know that they're not and their problems. You don't know any about their problems. So, you assume that because they're not telling you, they're not showing it, then they don't have any problems. So, if you understand where this whole anxiety comes from and its roots have no foundation, no real reason for you to be anxious about anything. Why? Because the people that you're trying to impress, they actually have nothing to be impressive about. Maybe they have a different look. You consider them better looking than you. Maybe they're, I don't know, more popular with the girls. Well, what does that mean? Nothing. Because what those girls know that they supposedly, if they're impressed, that means this person is really what, successful, wise in the world. No, who are those girls? They don't know shit themselves, so they don't know, what qualities really matter and what this guy is all about. So you can't be jealous about anybody because you're just as unique as everybody else is. In many cases, you might be just much better than them in the eyes of some girls or some other people. And third thing is, don't try to impress everybody. You want to impress your teacher by studying well. You want to impress your parents by being a good, wholesome, honest, straightforward kid. Great. But you don't have to impress anybody because nobody is a judge or of better qualities than you necessarily just because they're not you. They have their own challenges that you just don't know about. So understand every one of us is pretty much the same. We have our own unique challenges in life. And you don't need to impress everybody. You just need to enjoy and communicate with the nature, with what you want to accomplish in this life. Take steps in order to educate yourself, better yourself, handle matters of life wisely, think them through. These are all the qualities you need. You don't need other person's kudo. Who is that person who's giving you kudo? What has he accomplished or she accomplished in his or her life? Nothing. So what kind of affirmation you're expecting they give you that you feel obligated to change your behavior and become somebody else? Fuck him. Who the fuck are they? You don't need to change yourself. Just go and the hell with them. They like you, they like you. They don't like you, it's their loss. Who gives a shit? They're not going to pay your rent when you grow up. You still got to work and make your own money. So it doesn't matter if they're impressed or not. They don't give a shit about your life. So what do you want to impress them for? What do you gain? I'm somebody else. I'm Bond. James Bond. So what? Still, if you're an asshole, you're an asshole. If you're a good person, I don't care if your name is, I don't know, Joe, Jack, Jill, whatever it is, you're a good person. So stop this feeling of need to impress people that you don't even know and they're irrelevant to your life. And all your responsibilities and duties will remain the same whether they approve of you or not. Just because they approve of you, your homework is not done, your rent is not paid, you still got to do all that yourself. So what's that kudo or respect that you pay them or you think they're better than you? What? What for? What are they doing for you? Nothing. It's just in your head. So don't give a shit. Live your life, educate yourself, attend to your responsibilities and duties, have your goals and set your goals and figure out how you to accomplish those goals, and just negotiate life as you go and be yourself. That's the best compliment you can give yourself. Why? Because look, that mother and father and the universe, God, whatever you want to call you, they gave you birth. That means out of 30 million sperms that when your mom and dad were trying to be frisky with each other, 30 million possibilities were there. But you were the only one that won. So to begin with, you're the winner. You are the chosen one among all those 30 million possibilities of that they could have become, they could have been born. You were. You beat them all. So to begin with, you're better than 30 million other possibilities. That's something to be proud of, that you don't want to look like or pretend you're somebody else, because that somebody else is not you who is born as a winner. Proven, because you're here. None of those other sperms are there. You know, when a man and a woman try to procreate, there's at least 30 million sperms produced. Out of those 30 million, one reaches the ovum and is created as a human being and born. That's you. So, as a winner, as a luckiest person of them all, who are you trying to impress and change yourself for what? What do you want to change yourself to? A winner? You're already a winner. It's a proven fact. This other illusory things that you make, they have not proven to you that they're winners. But you are a winner for fact. You know that because you're here. Every one of us that are born are winner to begin with. And don't allow your psyche to turn you into a loser by making you step away from yourself and try to pretend you're somebody else. Fuck that somebody else. What is that? That's non-existence. It's illusory. But you are fact. Your actuality. You're real winner. You're lucky. So based on that, you don't need to pretend to be anything other than what you are. That's the biggest achievement of your life already given to you. You're here. You achieved without even having anything to do with it. You just knew enough that you are a survivor. You're better than all the other 30 million. And you made the race. You won the race. And you were born. Already without really being complete, you're a winner to begin with. So you don't need to pretend anything. And fuck the ones who don't accept you. You don't have to have a song and dance to prove yourself to. Bunch of bullshits. Anyhow, that's what I have to say about that. I hope you can listen to that again and understand that you're confident whether you want it or not, because that confidence was already instilled in you because you instinctively knew how to survive. And the survival is confident. You're a survival. You're here. Therefore, the confidence is yours. You don't have to pretend to be somebody else. All right. So let's go to the next. We have Aaron, male, England, 19. Says, hi, Miran. Hello, Aaron. Says, every time I see a random girl, my brain keeps telling me that I'm going to cheat on my girlfriend, and it constantly scares me. Why does it scare you? It's a brain. You just veto it. That's it. It's like I walk in the street. Every time I walk in that street, some guy, loser, sitting there says, hey, you're an asshole. He says, what does his word, what's the weight of his word? Nothing. You can say you're an asshole. Okay, that doesn't make me an asshole, because I try all my best not to be one, and I'm not. I know that. Just because I know I'm not an asshole. So if somebody says something about me that is contrary to what I really am, why would it bother me? Why would his opinion about me be more important about my opinion about me, which is based on fact? I know myself. If I'm honest with myself, I know myself, right? So if he says, utter something, that doesn't make me what he uttered just because he uttered. I heard it. Oh, I heard it. That's a suggestion that might be true. What do you mean might be true? I'm the one who they're making the accusation about. I know myself. So The word of other people doesn't make any difference to you. So the word or the thought of the brain, which is not you. See, the reason I mentioned that is for you to realize there is a separation between you and the brain. You're not the brain. Brain is not you. Brain is like somebody in the street, is outside of you. Just something popping up in your head doesn't mean it has a meaning, doesn't mean it has a power. It doesn't mean it can direct you to do things or make you to do things. No. Why? Because you roll in life not by the thoughts, suggestions, and ideas and images that the brain produces. It's an organ. Its job is to make thoughts. It can make thoughts, but your job is to judge what it makes up, to refuse, to veto it, or to choose it. It's like a smorgasbord. You see what's there, you choose what you think is appropriate for it. It's like a bazaar. You go there, all kind of merchandise and stores are there. But doesn't mean just because you're in a bazaar and you see them and they're there, you're going to buy them or eat them or use them. You pass by the stores you don't like their products. You pass by the products that you're not interested in, and you just pick the ones that you are, and you go about your business. But they can exist. Same thing. Brain throws out lots of things. Just because it throws out, it doesn't mean that you're obligated to use it or to choose it. Your power is in your vetoes and choices. You're above the brain. Brain is a suggestor. You're the one who judges what's been suggested, what's been offered. It's one of the stores in the bazaar, brain is. It produces lots of products, lots of things, but you pick the ones that is relevant to you or of interest to you. And you refuse, and meaning pass by the store, don't pay attention to it, the ones that is not of the higher quality or any use to you. So you're above the brain. In the study that Dr. Leibet did, which based on the report that Dr. Ignar put on, which I made a video of experiments that Dr. Sperry, Dr. Penfield, Dr. Owen, and Dr. Leibet did. It's a brilliant video as far as the information, which is based on the report of Dr. Ignar. I used his knowledge and report, enhanced it with a little bit more facts and different things. And we have a video that shows you precisely, proven by the modern science, not just because 1,000 years ago Aristotle already talked about this whole business of dualism and that you're not the brain and brain is not you, but now the modern science have caught up and proven it beyond the shadow of the doubt that you're not the brain, brain is not you. And these experiments by these famous neurosurgeons have proven that there's a separation between you and the brain. Brain is not you, you're not the brain, just as it was discussed in Dr. Schwartz's book of The Brain Lock. And based on that, you know that brain is not you, you're not the brain. Therefore, there are aspects of you and the mind that the brain cannot even reach. And that's shown by Dr. Leibet's experiment, which I've explained in that video. And I'm going to put that up for you guys. So if you haven't watched it, make sure you watch it. Just give me a moment. By the way, you know that we have about or over 3,000 videos on this channel having to do with things to do with breakups, relationships, thoughts, consciousness, fear, desire, ego, OCD, subsets of OCD, HOCD, and whatnot. It's all about the movement of psyche. So if you just search in the search engine of my channel, the word that describes what topic you're looking for, you will find number of videos on pretty much any subject that you might be having a challenge with, as far as it's within those topics that I mentioned. Here's the video that I'm referring to. I just put it up for you guys. It's coming up in a second as a link. There it is. So if you understand that the separation of the brain and you is a real thing, is an actual, is fact, is proven, not philosophically just, but scientifically, then you're free. It doesn't matter what the brain suggested. You're going to cheat on your girlfriend. Oh, okay. It's something somebody says. So what are you going to do? Everything you hear on the bus, on your way to the school or to your work, or other people talk about, that's going to mean, what if somebody talks about they want to rob a bank? Does that mean, oh, I'm going to participate? No, you have values. Based on those values and principles, what's not in line with your values, you reject. What's in line with your values, you stick with. So whatever suggestion is doesn't matter, because you roll in life with your vetoes and choices, not by thoughts, suggestions, images, or ideas that the brain conjures up. Brain is not you, you're not the brain. Nothing better than a cold tea. Hey, I got to change that thing in my cup. I can see myself rather than this is what I want to see. There we go. My heaven on earth. That's where I'm from. At least my adopted citizenship. Hawaii. This is the place I love the most. All right. And Antoseropian. That's an Armenian name, isn't it? Seropian. Says, hi, Miran 19 from Lebanon. Oh, ahlan wa sahlan. Says, I join every few weeks to tell you my progress. Okay. Says, you've helped a lot. I'm getting better and ignoring these HOCD thoughts. But when I imagine dirty stuff with same sex, it feels normal or like I'm not disgusted. Why do you have to be disgusted? This whole being disgusted is a mechanism to protect yourself. But when you know that you're the ultimate judge and power, nothing can make you do anything, then you will let go the feeling of having to protect yourself, because you're not scared of anything, because nothing can make you do whatever it is that is not in line with your values. So it says, even though I wouldn't do it ever, my problem is I feel like I'm lying to myself, and being straight is something rare. Well, this is what HOCD does. OCD is called in French, actually, French call it the doubting disease. But as I mentioned before, they actually have a little accent, the doubting disease. But it is called the doubting disease, which is what HOCD does. Makes you doubt yourself, makes you doubt any values that you have, if it's your value or you're pretending. All that is that what it is. Okay. I wasn't planning on doing it here. I was going to make a separate video on it of a better quality. But yeah, maybe I'll do that, because that's going to be pretty involved. I'm trying to make a video for you guys that actually explains what happens in the psyche in regards to HOCD and why this happens, which has nothing to do with your gender or changing or any of that. The mechanisms that are at work, and describing to you with using metaphors that you can understand, because I believe the number one key to recovering from this glitch or disorder is to clearly understand the process and the malfunction and the mechanism that happens in the brain rather than thinking it some kind of a sinister conspiracy to change your gender, which is what the thought pattern goes towards, again, as a malfunction. But we want to know why actually, what happens? What are the responsible components in the brain? Where's the role of amygdala? Where's the role of the danger signals that don't exist? Where's the role of the shut off valve? What are there? And is it only us or every human being's brain has these challenges and shortcomings and malfunctions? And then what are the uh, counterparts, counter actions to remedy these glitches in the healthy brain? And why is it not uh, functioning as it's supposed to function in our brain too? And what are the things that are involved and how we can actually rehabilitate it and help it? Because it's all about training. There's nothing wrong with your brain other than the fact that you linger in the memory of the negative thoughts, irrelevant thoughts. It dissipates at a later time trigger factor than when your brain was not in a glitch of OCD. Every human being on earth has intrusive, bad, negative thoughts, whatever it's considered bad to them, to different people, different thing. But every human being has negative thoughts, bad thoughts. But when a human being is not in the glitch of OCD, there is a mechanism that when a suggested negative thought, intrusive thought shows up, it reacts to it, and then there's a mechanism that makes it fade away. The time that it takes to fade away, it's a short-lived time, and the system makes that memory of suggestion of whatever it was suggested that popped into the brain to fade away shortly after it was recognized what it is and gave us, yeah, what the thought is that, and then fades away. In OCD brains, that time is elongated, is longer, and sometimes sticks around. So it's about how to get the brain to train itself to faster forget and dissipate that suggestion that was negative to us. It's like when you're in front of a pond, you throw a rock into the pond, you can see it splashes into the water, body of the water, creates waves. Now, depending on the quality of the water or the quality of the rock, it takes a certain time for these ripples or these movements of water because of the rock having been thrown at it to settle and be recovered and become calm again. OCD brain is like a pond that when a rock is thrown into it and it engulfs it, it takes longer to engulf it, disappear, and the ripples to dissipate and become calm again. When we were not in glitch of OCD, a rock thrown out, and then quickly recovered, and we go on. We kind of forget. This cycle of forgetting in OCD glitch takes longer. So we got to learn how to deal with this disturbance of the surface of water while it takes a little longer to dissipate, or however long it takes, and what to do to be able to help this body of water to smooth out the ripples faster And in a normal speed, just like when it was a time that we didn't have this glitch. So that's what I want to talk about in that particular video, which it will take a bit of a time. As you can see, delivering it is not difficult, but delivering it in a way that everybody can understand it, which is what I pride myself to focus on. It may take a little bit explanation. So the video probably going to be, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 minutes, half an hour, I don't know. So, but for now, understand this, and I will explain it when the video comes out. In the meantime, just understand that, as I mentioned, you're not the brain. Brain is not you. So when it suggests to you, you don't have to panic, because its suggestion doesn't come with any power. It's a suggestion. You don't give it attention or actuality or power, it wouldn't get any chance to become an action. It's like you heard something on the radio. It's a suggestion, but the radio is not going to, a hand is not come out of it. And, like the radio says, oh, why don't you donate to this cause? Okay, it may be a suggestion to you, but there is no hand coming out of the radio to grab and go into your pocket and get money out. It was a suggestion. You don't pay attention to it. You don't allow it to become an action. You will not put your hand in your pocket. You will not donate to that cause. That's as simple as that. But you're thinking, oh, because the radio said, if I don't, something bad is going to happen to me, or a hand is going to come and take that money. That suggestion has a power on its own. It doesn't. It's a word. Same thing, the brain suggests something. You think because it happened and it's on the screen of your brain, it must be you. It's not you. The brain is not you. You lived millions of years before this brain was given to you. So where was you then? There was a you before we had this brain. This brain is an added apparatus. It cannot be you. It doesn't have the power to make you do things. It can suggest things. But you ultimately are the boss. If you watch that video that I suggested, you will know that your role and the only power that exists between you and the brain is yours. And that's the power of veto. A power of choice and veto. Brain by itself cannot make you do things. It can annoy you by things that are not in line with your values and you don't want to, negotiate it. But if you understand that suggestion and continuous suggestion, even 24/7 suggestion, does not make anything happen. It just annoys you because it's contrary and contradicting your values. I used to have tremendously ugly thoughts to my values 24/7. It was like a goddamn hell. But I was old school. I didn't give it value as it could define me or my values or my principles. I just understood this is annoying and how can I stop it? And I was forcing to stop it instead of just don't give a shit. So finally, I figured it out on my own. I just went further with every time that such bad suggestions in my values or images would show up. I'll go further with it. I would actually help it to be even more disgusting to me, to the point that I was not afraid of these thoughts showing up. And the brain eventually thought that, oh, he's not engaging with it. He's actually laughing about it. He's not scared of it because he knows he's in control. He will never commit to any of that. He will never enjoy any of that. You will never entertain it or welcome it. He just simply is not afraid of it. So no suggestion is going to make him allow any of it to become an actuality. And he knows that. So he's actually laughing about it, which I was, because it was true. It was ridiculous. It's not me. It's not in line with my values, with showing up, which is based on exactly the opposite. Like when you really care about some values and you don't want such things, and then That is being focused by your protective systems. So naturally, the opposite of it is going to attack you because you're fully focused on that topic. So any possibility of that topic being attacked is going to be conjured up by your protective systems. It's like you're commissioned to protect this mansion. You're the security guard for that mansion, security principal for that mansion. So what are you going to do all day long? You're going to be naturally, because you're responsible to protect that mansion, the security of the mansion, naturally you'll be constantly conjuring up possibilities of that corner with lines dropping from helicopters or people climbing the wall. The attack to the mansion could happen from there. A fire could break off there. They could bomb that other wall. They could try to drill a hole of it. They could pose as a guest. You conjure up all these things that are possibilities to endanger what you're supposed to be protecting. So when you are really having certain values and principles and so important to you and so focused on protecting it, so naturally the brain is going to cause all the attacks, possible attacks. Whether it's about your gender that you're protecting is so important to you, so brain is going to attack you with all opposite of what you are. So that's what the protective system, the brain itself is trying to do. In fact, the brain thinks is alarming and alerting you to help you to protect what you want to protect, but in fact is attacking with so many nasty things that is unbearable to you. And you think, oh, something wrong with me. No, in fact, you're so focused on that particular subject to protect, and it's so important to you that the brain is helping you to create all kind of havoc so you'll be prepared for protecting it, all possibilities from all different tangents and angles. And that's why you need to actually let go, say, nothing can pass through, nothing can become an actuality or an action without my approval. So therefore, I have no worries about all these suggestions because none of them can become anything because I'm the boss. I'm the only one that can allow any of these suggestions from the brain or from anybody else out in the street ever become an actuality in my life or not. I'm the power. But you don't notice that. You think the brain suggestion is the power, which is the beginning of the problem. Okay, on that note, before I go on more and more, which we'll hold it maybe for some video, if I ever get to it. I'm becoming lazy now. And remember, guys, there are many things that I cannot simply, every question could be an hour and half an hour discussion. And so you all know that I have a site, mindthatseekstruth.com. 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 You can go on my site, make an appointment for a Skype consultation, and we'll deal and explore with what's concerning you one-on-one on Skype. And for every new client, for 1 hour registration, I'll add another 30 minutes so we don't have to rush, and you'll have plenty of time to explain to me your situation and what thought patterns and what your concerns are. Whether it's about relationship, it's about OCD, it's about thoughts, consciousness, intrusive thoughts, whatever it may be. So you can make a registration there on my site and we'll discuss it, explore it together one-on-one on Skype. And Conscious Motivation says, Dear Meran, male Sweden 25. I have a problem where I keep planning too much for the future to find control. Don't waste your time. There is nothing that we can control. Hang on, it reminds me of a video I made long time ago. Let's see if I can find it for you. Hmm. All right. Perhaps I don't exactly remember the full contents of it, but I'm taking a risk that this might actually be of some interest to you. Um, there's also another one here I can see on the list. Possibly this one. Hmm. So you may want to check. These are very short videos. There was a time I used to make short videos at one time. These are a long time ago. Let's see what the date is on it. Oops, where did that go? This was actually, oh, okay. Why is that private? If it was private and you couldn't see it, let me know. But one of them is definitely not private. Let's see what date it was. 2017, 5 years ago. All right, check it out. Yeah. Wow, what a good quality. Actually, I'm enjoying watching it myself. Okay. I think it says how to be in control. All right, how to be in control. That's the one that you perhaps want to take a look. It may give you a little bit of a pointer in regards to your question. I put it up here again. That's the one. All right. So now we say I gain control. Okay. And it continues, says, my brain also, okay, that's not it. So this keeps me from actually taking action on what I should be doing. When I plan, I feel like I gain control, but I actually just waste time. And this affect my life in a negative way. I'd rather want to start living and stop planning, thinking about the future. How can I help myself with this? So you're causing frustration for yourself because planning is nothing bad. Everything we want to accomplish in life, we need to plan about it. But if you not stop when your planning strategies or ritual ends and you continue that with number of actions to be taken in order to bring that plan to fruition, then you're getting somewhere. You're not frustrated because once you plan, then you got to start saying, okay, what actions do I need to make this plan to come to reality, to actuality? And once you line those actions needed for those plans that you conjured up, written and listed, then you got to take steps from action number one in regards to that plan and you start doing them. Then you can materialize that what you thought through as a plan. Otherwise, you keep putting plans and putting on the shelf, plans and putting on the shelf. Yes, you're right. It gives you certain kind of a feeling of accomplished something. And while you think you've accomplished something, because the brain doesn't understand the difference between virtuality and actuality, it starts believing that you actually accomplished something, which stops you from doing anything else at the moment because you have this feeling of high. Dopamine is there because you feel like something good has happened. I've accomplished something. Therefore, you will not continue whatever it is that you should be continuing, whether it's studying at your school or you're doing your project at your job. You just feel content and happy and accomplished. Therefore, you let go any other responsibility that you have. So planning without having actions to bring that planning to fruition and they taken a step on those actions is useless and frustrating. But, and falsely makes you feel you've accomplished something, you'll stop actually accomplishing anything, because you have this false belief that I've planned and my future is set because I have that plan, and you believe that it's accomplished, while it's just a drawing. It's not, it's a drawing of an engine, but you don't have the engine to fly with it. It's just a drawing. So unless you start having an action to buy those material that you need in the drawing, and then put those material, buy them, acquire them, and then procure them, and then putting them together, start building it, physicality, to see the fruit of your planning in action and in physicality, you see it's coming alive, then it's just useless. But another problem with that is that you get frustrated with these plans because they all seem contrary to your intention of accomplishing something. After a while, you'll see that with all those plans that you were convinced you're now successful and content and protected for your future, nothing has actually shown in reality, which makes you frustrated. And why is that? Is because you think none of your plans is coming to fruition. And you don't realize, because you're not taking any action for it. It's just planning. But the frustration starts because what you're doing, you're conjuring up a plan for future, and because the future is not here yet, you're waiting for future to come in order, thinking that that's my plan for the future. And for that reason, you think, well, that's already done. I have the plan for the future. The future will be good. But the future will not be good. Why? First of all, there's no action behind it. Secondly, the future itself, where your plan is supposed to be implemented, is not even here yet. So you did the plan right at this present moment for a future time, that the future time that the plan is supposed to be implemented is not even here. And then you wonder why I'm not feeling satisfied even though I have the plan. Because the future, the time that you're supposed to make those plans come true, has not even arrived. So how could you even find satisfaction in what you've accomplished when the time of implementation is not even here? So you feel anxious and anxiety and frustrated that, why is my life not getting better even though I'm planning? Because you're planning for the time that is not here yet. Plan for now, not for future. Plan for today, for tomorrow. Anything you want to do, bring your planning shorter time. Instead of doing it for future, doing it for near future, meaning next hour, next 5 hours, tomorrow. Whatever it is that you're supposed to be accomplishing tomorrow is necessary for your survival and success, that is limited to tomorrow. You plan it for now. Shorten the implementation schedule for that planning from future to only near future, which is next hour or next few hours or maximum tomorrow, not further. Then you can see how you implement it. You bring action to those plans. Then you can see the accomplishment. You can see the results. Those results actually make you feel, the plan is working. No more frustration, because I planned and I implemented it. But in the other case, you're planning and implementations go out of the window because the time for you is not even here yet, because it's for future. And when is that future? There's no time limit. I planned it for future. So I have inventory of planning for success. But that success, I'm fooling myself, because that would only be worthy if that plan was to be implemented now. But I'm making plan, but implementation time is for future, which relieves me from any responsibility to make any of those plans come true. So I feel good, but yet I feel depressed later on, because I said, where's the result of that? What made me feel content and confident and happy? It's not. Why? Because I never put the plan to work. Why? Because the time of it was for future. And I had the excuse not to act on it because the future wasn't here. So that's my scapegoat. I plan for future so I don't have to do it. So I do the easy part in my brain. So you're living in a virtual world by these plannings for the future. You're creating a virtual happiness. But when you actually come out of the virtual happiness, come into the moment, you see, shit, nothing has happened, and you get depressed. So you need to bring the time frame for that plan to be implemented to now. I plan an implementation schedule is not later than tomorrow, maximum, if not today. I got to put actions to these plans. Then you will feel satisfied that I'm doing something for my future now. Your future is now. Your past is now. Now is your past, and now is the past of your future. We are the past. I'm here because of my past. And now is the past of my future. So unless I do the right thing in the now, which is past of my future, because I'm here for the past, whatever I am is because of the past. And if I want my future to be good, my past should be changed. And my past of the future is today. I got to change the today in order to have my future done well. Don't wait for future. Don't plan for future. Plan for now, because now is the past of your future. And we are the past of our future. Right now. Because you are the past, and now is the past of your future. So whatever you do now, that's how your future will be. If you want your future to be good now. Whatever you do now is going to be your future. Whatever you are now is because of your past. The journey you took. And this is the beginning of the journey that you will take to achieve there, which is not here yet. So today is the most important thing. Now is your past, and now is your future. Everything is in the now. So you want to plan, implement it now. Then you will see a future. You plan for the future, future is not here, your plan is shits. Not going to go anywhere. If I haven't confused you, I'll try better next time. But in the meantime, let's move on to the next. Make your touch, Mail 28 Germany. Guten Tag, wie geht's heute dir? And says, Dear Mehran, Mail 28 Germany, my girlfriend became too insecure, mistrust, and invades my privacy in phone, laptop, and accusing me of checking girls in the street. Why not? We all check girls in the street. Tell her, look, don't lie to her. Tell her it's true. I check things in the girls in the street. I check the girls in the street, but it doesn't mean I'm going to approach them, because it's the nature of the man. We're all programmed for procreation. Heterosexual male loves women. And it's beyond my decision. It's programmed in my genes to pursue women. But through civility and today's environment, we have learned that we should not pursue when we're in a relationship, if we respect that relationship, if we are of good stock. But we cannot overcome the program that is already in our genes to seek or look or enjoy the scenery, or at least pay attention, even if we have no intention, but we will pay attention to what we are programmed for procreation. Now I have found what I've been seeking. It's you. You're my girlfriend. But I will still notice, like I will notice a danger, I will notice a car coming, I will notice a beautiful animal, I will notice a beautiful food, I will notice a nice bakery, I will notice, but doesn't mean just because I see them, I notice them, I will go to the store and buy a bread, or I will go and get hit by the car because I know this is coming, or I will get engage in a certain activity that I notice, but it's not in my protocol, is not in line with my intentions. So, yes, I will look at girls because it is made in me for me to be the man that you want me to be interested in you. The program to be interested in women is in me, not just to. How could I be interested in you if I didn't have the program to be interested in woman? You're a woman, and the reason I'm interested in you is because I could notice you, I could look at you, I could be interested in you. Now that I've found you, I am not interested into putting in action when I see another woman, but I still see them, notice them, because that's the program that brought me to you. I wasn't born without knowing, what and what gender I am, what my interests are, and then I decided I should go for you. No, it was part of my programming that this is what I gravitate toward. I like to be with in relationship a woman. That's why I could appreciate you and pay attention to you and focus on you. That's in my program. It's my gene. It's my gender programs programmed to be interested in you. Naturally, I would notice others, but I'm no longer executing any plans to pursue them. So you can be damn sure that I notice other pretty girls, but I'm loyal to the one that I've chosen. Why? Because I think I'm the best. And if I'm the best, I choose the best and I have the best. You're the best. I can notice all the others, but I won't want them. I could be tempted, but again, I have a control based on love and respect and my relationship and interest and my choices and my standards that you meet those. So noticing others doesn't mean I may be a good horseman, and I don't mean to be rude. It's just a way to deliver something. You can tell her that too, so she doesn't think you're comparing her to a horse or something. Although horses, for me, I love them. They're like my family. So you can see I could be a horseman, and I have a horse that I train with. But noticing other horses, that doesn't mean they meet my standards. I notice them. They're nice, pretty, but do they have that intelligence? Do they have that training? Do they have that passion? Do they have that talent to be a show jumper, to be a dressage horse or whatnot? So for me, noticing doesn't mean that I want to pursue them. So you're right. I notice other girls. Yeah, I look at other girls. Yeah, because it's the way I'm programmed to. It's like I notice beautiful flowers, but I don't go pick them out. I notice and go because I have a bouquet of wonderful bushel of roses at home, but I still appreciate other flowers, but I don't want to own or be or have them or nurture them and take care of them at home. And if she goes beyond that, say, okay, if you don't want to believe me, what is it that I can do to make you happy? And if she says unreasonable stuff, says, well, maybe you don't like me anymore. Maybe these are your excuses because I'm living my life, I'm doing my work and doing my responsibilities, and I'm happy with you. But just because I have certain maybe personal interests, such as, I don't know, my friends or hobbies or whatnot, that doesn't mean that I have less interest in you nowadays. And again, if there's more involved, you can make an appointment with me at mind@6truth.com and we can talk about it on detail, what you need to be doing because I don't have enough information here. And he continues, says, we broke up yesterday. Oh, you should have told me that. I didn't have to go through all this. You broke up. Finished. Why don't you from now on begin the story, the description? I broke up yesterday. Says, okay, good for you. Bye bye. Next question. Says, broke up yesterday. She left the group, went talking to a guy, just him and her drinking while I was in a game in group. Something she won't accept if I did. How can I get rid of this attachment? Or you're attached or she's attached. I don't understand whose problem is it now. Is your problem that she went out with some other guy, or is your problem is that you want to get rid of her and you don't know what to do, or your problem is you want to fix her that she wouldn't have to be so attached to you, or are you saying that you're attached to her? I'm not understand. I think that needs maybe an appointment on the site, and then we'll go from there. And Fab Raz has another super chat. Says, "Thank you, sir. A great help. I love your channel, by the way." Oh, thank you very much for supporting the channel, and thank you for your kind words. I appreciate that. Ash says, "Mehran, my girlfriend pointed out that I don't have much to say or talk about, and I tend to agree. I mostly talk about myself and my problems, as you are aware, and I want to stop this. How can I become a better communicator? At the moment, seems like you're a good communicator, but what you're communicating is out of line in that particular venue. It's like you're going to a convent and talking about pornography. You do the same kind of approach to I don't know, a movie producer of a pornography, you will be very well received because we may have some angles of photography and stories and stuff like that. It's an appropriate venue for that. But you go to a convent and start talking about that, they'll say you have nothing to talk about. And then you think, oh, that's right. No, the place and the topic of your discussion is wrong. Otherwise, you are a good communicator. But recently, maybe more than when I just got to know you and you were talking to me about your challenges, you're constantly fucking analyzing every goddamn thing that comes to your mind about yourself, trying to convince yourself of something. And then when you finish with it, you still have the same fucking doubts. As if none of the stuff that you talked about, analyzing yourself, was for you. Is as if you're trying to tell the listener that I'm a really wise and intelligent person, but I actually can't implement it because I don't fucking even believe what I'm talking about. But I can really talk sense and logical. And you will listen to me say, oh, he's intelligent. And you like that to be known as an intelligent and deep person, but you don't benefit from your own intelligence. You just talk, analyze for the sake of fucking analyzing, not for the sake of noticing what you're analyzing. Now, what do I do in order not to have to continue this behavior? You just narrating your behavior, but you continue your behavior. You're not narrating your behavior and learning from what you narrated and then finding a way not to do what you were just saying what you're doing, which you shouldn't be doing. You say what you're doing, why you're doing, that you shouldn't be doing it, but you keep doing the same goddamn thing. Why? I think because you somehow are stuck in that loop of recognizing yourself as an intelligent person because you're capable to figure out what's wrong with you, but you enjoy that continuous analyzation that has become your habit. Your OCD is no longer anything other than analyzing. You have an OCD to constantly ruminate all the things you know about, and that has become your compulsion. Because every time you do that, you feel, oh, I recognize the problem. I'm good. And the dopamine hits you because it enlightens you that I know what the problem is. So you have relaxed on the fact that I know what the problem is, and you feel that's the solution to your problem. Knowing the problem is not the solution. Knowing the problem is like diagnosis. Like you go to a doctor says, well, let me check your pulse. Let me check your this. Let me check your eyes. Let me hit on your knee and see if it has a reaction. And then it figures out, okay, I know what's wrong with you. But it doesn't go on to say, now this is what you got to do, this exercise, that exercise, this medicine, this and that, so forth. None of that. It just says, does the diagnosis, I know what's wrong with you. This is what's wrong with you. You're suffering from being an asshole. Really? Okay. But, okay, go pay the amount to the secretary and go. But the doctor never tells you what to do not to be an asshole. This is what you do. You just constantly analyze yourself and you conjure up more and more reasons for it, and wisely said so, and very intelligently. And then at the end, you say, well, that's why I'm an asshole. And you never pursue what things that I know I should do not to be an asshole, and what plan do I have to implement that. You don't do that. You just do the compulsion, you feel good about it, and you let go. Until the next urge, you do the compulsion, analyzing yourself, and this is how you go through the day. That's why you constantly talk to your girlfriend about analyzing yourself, because that makes you feel you're doing something about it. Analyzing yourself is not doing shit about your problem. It's just analyzing it to give you the dopamine to feel that you've done something, because you're fucking so lazy to actually get that intelligence that you have, implementing into actually doing things you need to do, so you don't have to analyze yourself, because you will not be doing that shit anymore. You're just coming up with excuses why you do things, rather than finding ways not to do what you've been doing. It's like you fear of not having to analyze one day. Then what I'm going to do? My life is so empty. If I can't pick on myself, I can't figure out what the fuck I'm doing wrong. And that is your intelligence, to constantly analyze yourself. And everybody see, I'm so smart, I can analyze myself. Yeah, you analyze yourself. Shitting in the dining room is not a good thing, but you keep shitting in the dining room. Because then if you do that, you can say, see, I know I shouldn't have done that. I realize that I shouldn't have done that. The fuck is that? All right. So the short and long is, start doing the things that makes you not need to analyze yourself. Start doing the things that makes you need not to analyze yourself. I'm comparing myself to her best friend, who is a male as well. She isn't interested in him romantically, but I'm envious of the way they communicate together. She seems more enthusiastic around him, because this is how you used to be. You were a breath of fresh air to her by your intelligence. You're an intelligent man, but you're using your intelligence for theory. You never do anything about it. It took you fucking so long to make the small changes that you've made recently, the new project that you started. But all the rest of it was all talk, intelligence. Girls are attracted to intelligence and discussions that was helpful and calming to them, and seems like you understand them. But when there's not backed up with any action, responsibilities, provisions, providing, eventually say, fuck this intelligence. I want some asshole who actually goes, works his ass off and brings the bacon home, and then also has some time for me and talks about me and the life, rather than constantly analyzing himself and then expect me to feel, oh, he's a wise master. Who gives a fuck? They want attention. They want an intelligent person around them who can handle life, who can handle their problem, who can pay attention to their problem, who can listen to their problem. How many times has Christy talked about her problems with you? No longer. Talks to that shithead, probably. because he's become his best friend, her best friend. But you were the best friend, weren't you? Why should you have a best friend? Because the best friend hasn't gotten to her pants yet, and he's listening to her, not talking about himself and not analyzing himself to prove that what an asshole I am, and these are the proof, and this is how I analyze it. And she starts losing interest in the guy who constantly talks about his shit and continues doing shit. And so she has no reason to be with you. At this point, she's chosen a best friend. And eventually, the best friend is going to get into her pants. Because the more you analyze yourself and don't do anything, the more she will be drawn to other people who will actually have time for her to talk. You just want her to think you're wise. That's not going to help. She wants a normal person that also wants to see how wise she is. Not to say, oh, yeah, thank you. Talk about me and I can see how wise you are. No, you don't want her to talk about you. You want her to talk about her world, her life, her fears, her dilemmas, her challenges. None of that shit. Maybe you do a little bit of that and the rest of it is all about like a diarrhea about yourself. I'm not saying these things to put you down. I'm saying these things to you for you to realize that you're a genuinely intelligent man, but you're fucking using none of it and using it all for bullshit. You're stuck in some kind of a shit that even though you know none of it is of your liking or your preference, you still think that you have a boss and the boss is your brain, rather than thinking your boss is your asshole. That's all. So she's going to get fucking tired. Today she's not interested in this guy, and she may never be. Tomorrow she may find another one who actually has time to listen to what her problems in life are. What security she's going to be offered to. Women looking for security. Are you offering that security? By sitting in front of her and telling her, I know I'm not offering you security. That doesn't mean you're intelligent and you're caring. It means you're a fucking asshole who actually knows what the girl wants and what the woman need, and you're not doing it because you're so preoccupied in just getting their sympathy and thinking their sympathy will win you brownie points and put you just because you got the sympathy because you're wise. No, you got to have a combination of them. So I want to ask you, the reason that you're like this is because you're constantly settled and satisfied with analyzing yourself as if it's a accomplishment. And then you become content, your dopamine is high, and then you don't feel that you need to do anything else or accomplish anything else because I just did. They know I'm wise because I can figure out the shit that I'm doing. Yeah, but what are you going to do so you won't be doing the shit that you're doing? That's where you got to focus and implement it. So she isn't interested in him, but I'm nervous of the way, yeah, she seems, well, yeah, sure, not sure. You know? Okay. Again, these are aimed to help you, Ash. It's not, I don't run by trying to demolish anyone. But when they're strong and wise and smart like you, I fucking destroy them so they can see the shit they're creating of the beautiful gold nugget that they are. Now go fuck yourself. I hope that helps you out. You're too intelligent for being such an idiot. All right. Now we go to Anna. Anna says, I stopped talking to my brother. Anna, who are you? Age? Now, these days you're supposed to be politically correct. Her name is Anna, but I'm supposed to ask age, gender? Fuck, no. I, I need age and where you're tuning in from. We're not going to go allow that to become a normal thing. to ask a woman if you're a woman. If you can't tell the difference, then something wrong there. It has been three weeks. I feel bad about how things ended. I think about him. I don't want to do. Oh, so I stopped talking to my boyfriend because he was not meeting my needs. All right. It has been 3 weeks. Look, you got to tell me your age, where you're tuning in from, so I know something about you guys. I don't know anyone from the beans when they talk to me. So help me out here. Throw me the bone. Give me the info. Jesus, we've got so many questions. I got to be quicker. Ash says I shouldn't laugh, but you've got me nailed. Yeah, you fucker. You're an idiot. You're a very smart, intelligent young man, and you don't even know your capabilities. Instead, you're talking shit about yourself. Yeah, these are the things you want, but you and you know how to do it, but you just don't because you fucking prefer to continue your OCD about yourself. Any chance you get, you want assurance from her that she's gonna stay with you, that you're a good guy, and all that. And all you do is trying to impress her. You say you don't. No, I don't want her to think I'm wise. Bullshit. I actually want to be fucking normal. You are, but you don't want to be acting normal. You want to create an image that you're normal because you know you can be normal, but you're settling with the image because it's too much fucking work for you to actually act the things that you know makes you normal. Like fucking going to where you're going these days every morning, which I hope it continues. And have fun with her and communicate with her harmony. No, she doesn't fucking want to communicate anymore. Do things with her. No talking anymore. Take her to playgrounds, fun fair, and dates, cinema, dinner. Don't fucking talk to her anymore. Zip it and act it. Make love to her. I don't give a fuck what's going on into your head while you're fucking her. I just want you to focus on you have a job to do, and that's fucking her. She wants to see a man rather than a baby constantly talking about some bullshit, fictitious disorder that has made him think that the disorder is actually real. Stop that. Take her on a date. No talking. Go to cinema. Go to a park. Let her talk. Listen. Make love to her. Make food for her. Do the things you wanted to do and you didn't do. It's time. Stop the bullshit. You have now having an OCD to have an OCD. You have conditioned yourself to constantly want this condition to continue because you get that dopamine, that compulsion talking about yourself, analyzing yourself. You get the dopamine. You feel accomplished. I did something. No, what you're supposed to do are the things you're not doing. The work, attention to her, the love making. I don't care what goes through your head while you're doing it. Do it and do it good because that's your job at that moment. Get into the character. It doesn't matter what's here. You be the animal that you're supposed to be. Once it's done, you can think about whatever the fuck it is that bothers you, and then you learn how to deal with that. But at that moment, give priority. We all have all kind of shit. When I'm doing, I don't know, biking or when I'm doing my job, I could have all kind of other projects in mind. It's no different than intrusive thoughts or whatnot. You just focus more on what it is that you want to accomplish, while other things are going around the head, could be of all different topics. At that moment when you're with her, just focus. This has a priority, regardless of what's in the mind. I'm just going to keep focusing more and more like a laser beam on what my job is. I'm going to do it right. And it's not about you liking, it's about her liking it. So focus on that, and then we'll talk later. So I don't want her sympathy either. You do. Fucking lying. You don't even know it, but you just want this image. I don't need this. I don't need, but you constantly do things that shows you need that compulsion. You need to feel assured. There's nothing you need to be assured. God damn it. You're a young, intelligent, smart, handsome man. Go fucking attend to your activities that interest you, and the rest of it is just statics. Bullshit. Condition yourself for that. I'm just a self-centered prick with nothing to talk about. Well, then fuck you. Go fix yourself. Nobody likes self-centered pricks. I want to listen to her. Yeah, but you can't say, oh, honey, come here. I want to listen to you. No. When she talks, you do the listening, not announce it. I want to listen to you. I want to be a good, no, fucking be a good boy. You become lots of hypotheses and theories. Just act them now. But I don't want to be constantly seeking advice either. Yeah, that's what you do. You don't want to, you listen to her so you can ask another question at the end of it. I know how it is. At some point, I need to get a fucking clue, right? Yeah, you have the clues. Now put them to work. All right. Jack says, Mehran is getting heated today. Lol, yeah. Fuck. Because I'm tired of you guys pussyfooting around the bushes. You know what the wrong thing is with you. Fix it. You're all capable. I don't have any dumb clients or viewers. Everybody here is smart. God damn it. Because truth is, I care about every one of you, son of a bitches. I care about every one of you. I want you to recognize your potential, your actuality. This head business and all these bullshit that appears intrusive thoughts is all fucking nonsense. That it's a glitch, it's a disorder, and you got to focus on knowing it's a disorder and doing things to retrain it rather than being bamboozled by it constantly. Oh, maybe it's true. This is the disease. The fact that you end up saying, oh, maybe it's true, that is the malfunction. So I want you guys to get out of this by knowing and following all the things that psychotherapists, psychologists, including people who are not psychologists like me, have put their life worth and value and experiences into researching and figuring out things, delivering it, to fucking use it. All right. Hot tea, please. There's nobody here to listen to me. No respect. All right. All right. We have Jake Bedford. Says, hello, Mehran. How are you? This is the best I felt lately for a long time, and I owed all that to you. Trust me, guys. Listen to this man. Yo, goddammit, listen to me, jackasses. Thank you, Jake. Thank you for the kind words. But it ain't gonna get you any free sessions, just so you know. Just kidding. He says he drinks way too much tea too. Good tea though. Yeah, good tea was cold, Jake. And it's not just you British who like your tea. We like our tea of different kinds, but not the cold kind. All right. And Yasin TV says, hello, Meran. Hello, Yasin. Please, guys, don't forget age, gender, where you tuning in from. Jack Ghoul's fitness vlog says, hello, Meran. It's the Colonel. Hello, Colonel. How you doing, Colonel? It's a great shooting the other. Yeah, I know. It was cool. Dude, these guns. My son has this sick gun, and this is actually his too. I'm using his. And we were talking last night, and he said, that when you shoot right beside me, this whole thing moves, the air and the sound. It's so like a fuck. I said, what are you talking about? Every time you do, that's the feeling I get. The air hits me. It just moves the barrier between the stations, and the concussion of it, and the actually wind. He says, I said, yours is bigger than. So it's funny. Both guns are pretty powerful guns, and I've been actually reading on it, and I just got a handgun. It's HK, Henkel and Koch, Henkel Koch, German made. Actually, it's funny. This handgun that I got is the same company that made the military guns that we've been using. It was a G3. It's Henkel and Koch makes G3. And they were super guns. Like, they never jammed. They never gave me trouble. We were just shooting 300 meter. God damn it, it was just the greatest gun. I think they're still in works, but they've now come up with what, G36, I think, the military model and the export model. And that thing is not cheap here. It's pretty expensive, yeah, but it's cool. So anyhow, it was pretty exciting shooting because I had trouble finding the zero, especially at 200 meter, and the scope wasn't zeroed. So I just said, fuck the zero. I'm just going to know where it is rather than fixing the scope. So just using the scope to see it, but I zeroed it in my brain, and perfect. When I found it, it was 10 o'clock. When I found it, it was all done. It's center. It's just beautiful. It's one of those things that, I remember in the Army, every time they took us to the field outside of town, somewhere in the boonies, and like, I don't know, 200-300 of us lining up on the ground, 300 meter, and the sergeant was yelling and making sure nobody's doing something weird with the guns. And once the horn would go off, dude, it was beautiful. A buddy of mine, I don't know if I mentioned this for you guys. I don't know if you're interested. A buddy of mine, every week that we had 1 day leave to go home, he was in detention because he didn't shoot well, he didn't do his chores right, he didn't get up on time, all these things. And he was a very close buddy to all of us. There were 10 of us in that unit that they were calling us the love unit. The love unit is a translation from Farsi, which is the unit that does whatever he wants. But we were, I think I was the only one, pretty disciplined in everything. And I was the unit's commander for that unit as a cadet commander. But one day when we were in the field, in the range, and every week he had never gone home, every week he was in detention. I told him, he was lying right beside me. Everybody was lined up and he was right beside me. I said, listen, give me your bullets. We each had 6. So he gave me bullets, and our magazine would take 20. I think 21 or 20. So I put all 12 in my magazine, and I shot my own 6, and then I shot his 6 for him. And for the first time, he passed. And he was able to go home that weekend. And he said, God, Meron, I ate my mom's cooking. It was amazing this time. Thank you. So when we would go to the range, it was just a whole different day. It was like a vacation in the army. It's so much fun. So it reminds me that now, doing it with my son, it's amazing feeling. Uh, it's great. Yeah, he's thinking about getting that other gun, the G36. That's the expensive one. Anyhow, meanwhile, back in the ranch, says Sid is here. Says hello, General. Hello, Sid. This is male 34, Manchester. Just wanted to say hi and listen to the voice, which has helped me many, many times. My pleasure, Sid. Good of you to join us. Delighted to see you here. Hope all is well with you. Hope all is well with you. Did I say hope all is well? Hope all is well with you. And bite-sized cars says, I'm having a hard. Hey, bite-sized cars. God, everybody remember. First protocol. I gotta know age, gender, where you're tuning in from. Bite-sized car doesn't tell me if you're man, woman, what your gender is, how old you are, where you're tuning in from. So give me the info. Throw me the bone, as Dr. Evil says. What are these rings and bings of the email? Let me shut the email off. I don't like these sounds interrupting me. And Stephen is here. Hello, Stephen. Hope you. I was thinking about you just a few days ago. I said, "Oh, I'm glad he's fine. He must be fine. He hasn't. I haven't heard from him for a while, and I'm delighted to see that you're here. And hopefully, you're all good." Says hello, Meron. Stephen, male 41, Los Angeles. Thank you for that. And Steven says, I started a new job at a hospital. And yesterday, the person that was training me was rude, disrespectful, and at times treated me like I was stupid. Well, that means they are not confident and they only get a kick out of making themselves important by putting somebody else down, especially a recruit or a new trainer, because they are in the position of power. And that's the way they can make themselves feel good about themselves because they don't have the talent of building their own building. Remember, I think we talked about it once before that there are two ways of owning the tallest building in town. One way is to destroy all the other buildings. Once you destroy all the other buildings, whatever the height of your building is, that's the tallest. That's because the person doesn't have the ability, talent, capability of building its own and advancing on his own building. Hence, destroys all others to make himself feel important and big. The other is to keep building your own building. That needs talent, foresight, knowledge, intelligence. Many of these people who are at the low grade in their life, maybe position wise not, but in their psyche, in their life, there are many things that they cannot measure up. Only their job they know what to do. But in life, they cannot measure up in many things. And that psychological hang up makes them be rude, disrespectful, because that's the only way they can feel big and important, by destroying other buildings. So don't take it personal. It's their shortcomings. They're just unwise, weak personality. And in French, they say asshole. They're just assholes. Don't worry about it. There's no shortage of assholes in the world, I'm telling you. So don't be surprised if you run into a couple of them here and there. And Stephen says, for this entire 12 hours, I remained polite, professional, and was nice to this horrible person. That's a challenge. I woke up today and it's still bothering me. Yes, of course. But, it's your ego that is trying to say it's more important than you. You tell the ego, fuck off, it's just piece of shit. It's like you're passing by and you step on a shit and you say, oh, gee, shit, I'm shit now. No, you just stepped on shit. You had an experience with the shit. That doesn't make you shit. It just means the sooner you clean up your shoes, the sooner you forget about this shit existing. But the more you keep the shit on the shoes, every time you see it, you remember the pile of shit that you stepped on, the mistake. In this case, it's not your mistake. It's just the way it is. Some idiot had to do the orientation or the training, and they use their own, echelon to make themselves, because they know in every other aspect of their life they have shortcomings. And especially if you're intelligent, or if you're new, or if you're younger, or whatever, they will have all kinds of jealousy. And they simply, people, human beings are mostly still vicious and uncivilized, and they don't know how to value themselves and accomplish things. They only think the shortcut is to putting people down, using their powers or position to manipulate them in order to make themselves feel good, which is a reflection on them, not a reflection on you. It's a reflection on them, which is they're weak, assholes, incapable, insufficient, and incompetent in the way of handling their psyche, and at the same time, lack of confidence. And this is bothering me. I can't get off my mind on how bad of a day I had. That's okay. Makes you tougher. Makes you realize that these sort of people exist. You can't stop stupidity of people. You simply think just because you're a nice, well-rounded, balanced, caring, compassionate, polite, civilized, diplomatic person, everybody else is capable of that too. No, they're a bunch of assholes, weak, coward, incapable, malfunctioning, fucked up people around this world. Why do you think everybody should be civilized? They can't. They don't have the capability. They're subject to so many temptations of abusing the position and power in order to cover up their shortcomings, and they all have weakness. Look at all these leaders today. You think, what is our prime minister doing? It's his own shortcomings and incapable, lack of wisdom and lack of compassion, lack of qualities, of human qualities. There's fucking up our countries, infringing our freedom. These are all cowards. These are all people of low quality, lack of confidence. They amount to nothing, but they happen to be in a position of power. So now they're going to use everything they can in order to milk some money out of it, or some position or whatever. What do you think is happening to our country? In many countries, freedom is at the jeopardy. Why? Because the people who are at the helm, they're greedy, weak cowards who don't care about other people and the right of humanity. They care about their pockets and manipulating and being in power, because they're simply weak people. Strong people do not bother other people. Weak people do. So it's not limited to your industry. It's everywhere, including the people who happen to be passing as a leader of a nation. They're betraying their own country. So you think this guy is any better than them? He's trying to make himself look big in that little echelon of whatever department he has. It's a reflection on his stupidity, not yours. So let it go. Fuck it. You tolerate the training, and when it's finished, I don't think you have anything to do with the guy. And if you do, just eventually be patient, change your department. You don't have to put up with bullshit. Says also it's been hard dealing with the uncomfortable feeling I've had with changing job. Yeah, it's all new. It's all new. You want it. You made that decision. So fucking stay with it and don't let simple wave of an ocean to topple your boat. Fucking strongly row and don't give a shit of the quality of the wave. Pass through it, break through it, be stable, be balanced, keep the balance, keep rowing, go forward. Eventually, you pass all these bullshit at the beginning of the shore, you get to the high sea, calm, and you can see visibility and say, okay, I'm glad I didn't fuck up in that bullshit and didn't allow my boat to hit these little rocks and pieces of shits all over and navigate it through. And you're navigating through this garbage, this idiot who's trying to have the big, echelon in his own mind or her own mind. Just keep on growing till you pass the initial separation from the shore, and then you're the master of your own ship, and you don't have to put up with these garbage floating around. Just negotiate your boat out of it. However you do it, just do it. And then time will pass, you won't give a shit anymore. Don't treat it any more than what it is. It's an idiot reaction and behavior that doesn't describe you, that doesn't define you. It defines them. So, Almada Warrior. What? End me? What does that mean? Who is this person? What is Almada Warrior? Okay, I don't know who you are, what you're all about, but it looks like I don't understand what you're talking about. Okay. I don't understand really your comments, but whatever it is, keep it clean. If I see it further, I'll just send you for a recess. So now we go to self improvement. Says, hi, I already asked you. Yeah, please introduce yourself. I'm Belgium and 14 years old. 14 years old, I need you to have permission from your parents to be here. This channel is made for 18 and up. And therefore, will you please confirm if you have spoken to your parents about you on this channel and on this live stream? Ah, you sent a question yesterday and I didn't know how old you were. This is why it's important for you guys, everybody, from now on, anybody who makes a comment and expects an answer, I need to know your age, gender, and where you're tuning in from. These three information must be in every question, either here or in the comment of any videos that you make a comment. Because otherwise, I assume everybody is 18 and over. Now I know that the question that came from you was from a 14-year-old, which I didn't know how old you are. Yes, you made a comment, says, I already asked you this, but so yesterday I had my first kiss and I know I have to ignore, but has never been this hard. Why couldn't I just ignore it? HOCD, by the way. I explained to you without knowing who you were, how old you were, in that comment, that this is what HOCD does. Makes you think that you're not what you are. So you stick to your guns and be patient and don't give a shit about these suggestions or whatever the feelings or whatnot until you're very young right now. You're not at the age to actually enjoy a kiss the way you would 2 years from now. So what you see on the movies and the reactions that other men have towards girls, That is not for your age. So you got to be more patient until you're a little older. Then you can compare why my feeling or the kiss that I got impressed me this much or not that much, and so on and so forth. At this age, this is how you would feel about it. There's nothing more. That's the normal part of it. It's not that, oh, because I didn't feel whatever I'm supposed to feel, that means then something wrong with me. No, that's how you feel at age 14. You don't feel any more than what you felt because you're not there yet. You're still, all these things and hormones and abilities and interests are developing in you. So just be friends, and there's no hurry. It doesn't have to mean that you have to kiss at 14. What the fuck? Who kisses at 14? I mean, you kids at this age, because all these, it talks about sexuality and talk about, and the movies and things, you think that if you see a man and a woman kissing in the movie and they are passionate about it, that's how you should be feeling at 14 years old. To no, at 14 years old, you don't fucking know what kiss is, and you won't have necessarily the feelings that you would have about girls 2 years from now or 3 years from now. So just chill out. That's how it is at age 14. You wouldn't feel any more than what you felt. It's not that because it wasn't like what you saw in the movie, then there's something wrong with you. No, that's what you feel at this age. Nothing so special about, kissing a girl at this age. You're 14. Wait, wait. I'll talk to you in a few years. Then you, then you say, "Oh, I see what you mean." So it's like an oak tree that is just 1 year old, and you say, why this oak tree doesn't give fruits or whatever it is that it's supposed to? Why is it now so strong and doesn't withstand the wind? Oh, because it's a 1 year old. Wait till this oak tree becomes a few years older, and then you see this humongous strong tree. Now it's what you expect it to be. But you expect it to be that what it will be in 10 years at when it's just been planted. It's not unreasonable. So chill out. And Prathamesh is, this is hello, sir. Hello. Ash says, you know me too well, and you're right. I'm a stupid, intelligent person. Fucking A. I see, even now, you're finding wise sentences. Fuck all these wise, stupid, intelligent person. Okay. You're constantly trying to, again, label yourself. Stop fucking labeling. Just be a donkey, and a good donkey. Give her a ride. Take her where she wants to go. Don't talk much. Adhere to her. Attend to her. Serve her. Do the things a man's supposed to do. Go to work. Bring the bacon. Whatever it is that you can do. Take her out. Take the garbage out. Do all the things that you know you should do, rather than busy analyzing. Fuck the analyzation. We are all crazy. All of us. So every human being on earth is crazy. So you're no different. So don't go there. So Prathamesh says, 22-year-old boy, sir, I see my ex every day in college. The reason for breakup is I caught her hitting on my friend, and I feel that she's not doing any effort in relationship. I realized that she just dragging relationships. So I broke up with her, and she is now with my friend. But I know that she is not good for me, but it still hurts, and I want to get over her. I cannot avoid her because she's in my class. Why do you have to avoid her? There's so many other girls in your class. Do you avoid them just because they're there, or they could be pretty or whatever? Who cares? Treat her like she's just another girl. Yeah, okay, she was your girlfriend one time, but she's no good. She's flirting with other boys. So fuck it. Move on. What do you mean get over her? You can already see she's not the kind of girl that you would prefer to be with. She doesn't have that mentality, that properness. So let her go. Nothing off of you, nothing off of your nose. Just let her go. Who gives a shit? So many other girls out there. Focus on some other things. Focus on your studies. She's in the class, so what? The garbage can is also in the class. You have to pay attention to it. I don't mean she's a garbage, but there are lots of things in the class. You focus on what you're there to focus on: the studies, other students, interactions. Don't worry about what she says, what she thinks, who she's with. Who gives a shit? Life is too short for being concerned about what she thinks, what she's doing. You did the right thing. You got rid of her. That's not a quality of girl to be with, anyhow. Fuck it. Don't worry about it. These are not some things that you're defined by. These are things that she's defined by. So understand that. You don't have to prove anything to yourself that you're good enough. Yeah, you're good enough. If you weren't, you would still be sticking to her. But despite of it, all the desires and the intimacy and all that, you told her go away. And that's the right thing to do for that kind of a behavior. Fuck it. In French. Self-improvement says, I'm sorry for not being clear enough. Not so I'll have HOCD and had my first kiss, but I didn't feel anything, like nothing. Yeah, I explained to you why you feel nothing, because you're not supposed to feel anything at age 14 when you kiss a girl. What the fuck do you think? You wait till you're 18, then I'll tell you what you're gonna feel. Okay. All right. All right. I think you get the gist of it. Self-improvement says, I'm a girl, by the way. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, sure, definitely, especially girls. It's even longer before you can feel. You got to have real feelings and all that. Just because some guy kisses you doesn't mean you're going to get any feeling. Girls are more sophisticated than guys, so rest assured you, everything is fine. You're perfectly fine, normal. Just relax, enjoy, play the game. You're not supposed to feel anything at this age. Just keep going until you're 18. Then we'll talk. Ash says, I appreciate your honesty, Mehran. I really do. I don't want to be surrounded by yes men, but I don't want to be constantly seeking advice either. Then don't. You're not seeking advice. You actually, when you're talking to her, I bet you're actually analyzing yourself, and you just want her to affirm it that you're okay. You're a good boy. Yeah, I understand. The excuses. Otherwise, you're talking about it, analyzing, and giving advice with your own voice while you're talking. You're not seeking advice. You just want somebody to listen to your constant analyzation and uh, knowing that you know what's going on, what's wrong with you. But the problem is you're not doing the things that you're supposed to do to get rid of this inconvenience. That's all. Kumar says, Diraj, male 24, India. Whenever I try to be present or try to focus on tasks, my mind jumps from one subject to another subject, and due to this, I can't concentrate. What should I do to focus on? Well, it's one thing mind jumps from one subject to another. It's another thing that you follow the mind where it jumps. You stay on what you want to accomplish. Let the mind jump, jump, jump. Don't go after it. Don't pay attention to it. Let it jump, jump, jump. You stay here. Stay here. Stay on course. Stay on course. It keeps jumping, distracting. Other thing, other thing. You don't go follow the story. You don't go in there and try to help it to make sense out of what is jumping. Don't. Stay here. Stay here. Eventually, when it says there's no interaction with what it's jumping to, it can't continue because you're not paying attention to it. There's no audience for that what is jumping to. nobody's listening to it, eventually comes back to where you are because you stay. There's a difference. When the brain jumps, you're not jumping. The brain's jumping. You are here. So your awareness must stay focused on what it is that you're interested in. And the brain, which is not you, separate from you, is jumping around like a jumping jack, like an asshole, is not focused, is not disciplined. It doesn't know how to stay on course. It's not meditating. It's not understanding focus. You got to teach it focus. How? By you staying on what it is that you give priority to, regardless of where it's jumping. Don't go with it. Stay here. Even though distracting you, stay here. Come back here. Come back here. In Aikido, we have a exercise which is very interesting. If I can find something here to show it to you. Let's do it with this pen. I don't have a long stick here. Let's say this is a sword. If you just bring the sword in front, let's say this way, and you're just holding it with your strength, huh? If an opponent comes or a trainer comes and hits you with their sword, all right, let's do this. Let's we have this. There we go. So if an opponent comes or the trainer and hits your sword with another sword, this is the end. What ends up, right? Because you were here, it hit you, and you were here. Why? Because your attention went to the direction of the energy that was hit here. Look. You went with the energy that was released in here, and that energy ends. So there's no energy here. It stays where it is. But in Aikido, we have a way to extend energy when we hold the sword. We're not holding with physical power. We're holding with energy flowing out of it. Like Star Wars, when the energy of Darth Vader is extended outwardly, Obi-Wan is extending outwardly, but when we hold the sword, we extend from the fingertip as a continuation of the key from the universe and from the tip of the sword outwardly to the end of the universe. So we are holding while this is emitting energy outwardly through the sword to the end of the universe. So when the opponent or the trainer comes and hits it, it comes back because it has a track. It's on track. It has a laser zoomed energy. It's on the energy. So even though physically it moves this way, it comes back because its path is still connected with that energy. So it hits, it automatically comes back. So it starts like this. It hits, it comes back. So that's focusing by having an intention continued, not interrupted when another intention comes. So another intention comes and interrupts you. If you don't have any intention continuing, any energy continuing, you stay here. But if you're like this and it hits and you still have intention in mind, energy extended from the tip, regardless of where it goes, comes back to where you were holding it and aiming for it. So that's what you need to do when you're focused on something. Stay focused, even though the brain introduces other ideas and other things that jumps around. You keep bring it back. It hits your focus to some other issue. It jumps to some other issue. You go there, but you come back. Go there, come back. As soon as it goes to another topic, you come back. So it's just like this being hit and coming back, hit and coming back, hit and coming back. You keep coming back. The brain learns that that's the priority. That's the training for focusing. And it starts learning to how to be distracted for a second and come back, not to stay distracted once the distraction comes in. it doesn't go on the other topic. It goes but comes back because you've taught it that everywhere it goes, it got to come back. That means your attention is constantly going in this direction of whatever you're reading, whatever you're studying, whatever you're focused on, whatever you want to repair, you want to produce, you want to, be engaged in. So staying is the key to focus, not focus. Every human being on earth can focus on things, but the duration of a continuation of focus is where the power is. So I can focus on this and I can hold it steady, but the continuation of how long I can focus on this is where the power is. Just like when you're reading something, you read it and then you remember something else and your mind goes there. But if you come back and it goes there to something else and come back, always remember to come back to what direction your energy was focused towards. Keep coming back on that line, and the brain gets trained. Later on, it's less distracted. It stays, when you train it on this, it stays on this. It's not distracted. It's a training technique. It's not something wrong with you. I hope that explains what you were hoping to learn from that question. And we have John Earn says, can I ask something about HOC? Of course you can. Mind you guys, we are like about 2.5 hours here. I don't think we can continue this. There's so many questions. Just don't forget, guys, I have a site, mindthatseekstruth.com, mindthatseekstruth.com. You can go on it, make a registration for an hour appointment. I will throw in another half an hour on me. We'll have an hour and a half, plenty to discuss what's concerning you one-on-one on Skype. I'll take a couple more questions and then we'll end it because I really got to get up walking and also want to go to the gym and train and all that, so forth. Joan, what happened to you? Ali Suleiman says, my HOCD comes and goes. I have also dealt with anxiety for as long as I can remember. And I've read somewhere that it has an effect on triggering. What? My HOCD comes and goes. I've also dealt with anxiety for as long as I can remember. And I have read somewhere that it has an effect on triggering HOCD. What? Anxiety? Anxiety as far as I can remember. Yes, of course it does. Anxiety. Any tips to treat it for good? Look, Ali, your question is very valid, but it is a long discussion, and I have all these questions that you're asking, every one of you pretty much, answered in over 3,000 videos on this channel, which about maybe 600, 700, 800 of it, or 500, 600 of it at least, is about HOCD. So just click on my search engine on my channel, write in the word HOCD, one word, or 4 alphabets, or intrusive thoughts. And you see the number of them. Then look at the titles and see which one pertains to your question. And then it will be, because it's a long answer for this question. It's one question, but I'm going to go on for 2 hours on that. So, you're welcome to make an appointment with me on Skype and go on my site, mindthatseekstruth.com, and we'll discuss it thoroughly from A to Z, as much as time allows us. Jack says, a British Army rifle, the SA80 and A3 is a German-made Henkel Koch. Is it? Is it? Yeah. Well, if it's a SA80, I don't know, but I'll look it up. It's probably the same family. If it's Henkel and Koch, they're all coming from the G3 family tree, which actually after the war, a bunch of German um, scientists or uh, designers of the weaponry, they went to Spain and they started the beginning of the mechanism, the recoil, I think it was. And then they sold it, introduced it to the German military after the war. And the German military took that and changed it to a different system, and they came up with the G3, which we used in our army. And so they probably, it's now a more modern, because that one started in 1960s, I believe, and it was in the works for all this time. And then in I think 90s, they came up with new versions, and it's now probably even better. But I was really happy with that rifle. It was the actually semi-automatic and automatic. Like I did put it in one of the trainings without permission. I put it on the machine gun, and it was awesome. It actually it was going off. So our commander says, "Doctor, what are you doing?" All right. Yeah, it is, isn't it? You're cleaning, you don't need to clean those guns that much. They make us clean it just so we know how to open and close it. Otherwise, those guns, I mean, at least our gun, G3, just would go for thousands and thousands of rounds and never needed cleaning. But, we could clean it with our eyes closed. I mean, we could open it and close it with our eyes closed fast. There are not too many moving parts. They're good guns, great guns. Pratamesh, I did answer your question. Ikas says, hello, Meron. I am Lija, 31-year-old male from Serbia, and I think that I have HOCD. I have a question for you. Why do I want to be liked by both women and men? That's your suggestion of the brain. And that has, again, a small question, but a big answer. So again, you can find all those answers in two playlists that I have. One is intrusive thoughts, transient thoughts, OCD, HOCD, negative thoughts, which describes the interpretation of words and suggestions that appear in your head. It's got like at least about 22 or 29 videos that discusses all these interpretations of these words, what it means, these thoughts, and so on, and how to deal with them. And then there's another playlist that I have, intrusive HOCD, intrusive OCD, HOCD short videos. None of them are short, other than a couple of them, but that has nothing to do with interpretation of wordings or sentences or suggestions. It has to do with complete understanding and philosophical point of views and scientific point of views in understanding and proving, and I've proven it in those videos, bunch of them, the separation between brain and you. And again, that video that I've put in here, which I will, when this is uploaded, hopefully I will do that too. It helps you to see what I mean. And if you understand the separation between brain and you, then you'll have an easier time to move on from this glitch, because that is very important for you to understand. So it's you are not, and that's the video that I want you to focus on if you haven't, in order to understand that what you're going through is not you, it's the brain. And you got to help the brain to recover, because brain and you are not the same. And there are aspects of mind and you that the brain cannot even reach. And that has been proven in the experiment that Dr. Leibet did, which is very interesting. And it's included in this 48-minute video, but you get a lot out of it. Hang on, guys. Okay. All right. Ash says, one last question from me, Meron. Because you and Jack both make great points, how does one stop whining? I'm acting like a total bitch lately, and I failed to see it. This is why it's good to have people around who will keep me in check. I don't know what the fuck happened. I was stranger earlier. I was stronger earlier in the relationship, and somewhere along the way, I started to slip up. I think I know why. I just feel stupid lately. Well, at the beginning, you wanted to impress her. The most important thing to her was to get her. When you succeeded and you curtailed your behavior towards what would be appropriate and what would be impressive to her, and you got her, that was your focus and you were successful. So she saw you as you. And when you got her, you became comfortable, and that wasn't the focal point of your relationship anymore and your tasks on daily basis. Your focus became how to get affirmation from her for your challenge. And you started using her as a tool to give you assurances. And that is then your priority became your assurances and dealing with your challenge rather than focusing on her, which she felt you're more important than her. And not that you're selfish, but you were dealing with something and using her to deal with your problem rather than paying attention to your relationship. Your relationship was no longer a focal point, and you using anything around you to give yourself assurance became your focal point. And that's what things, I guess, started going the way it did. And Prathamesh says, I'm from Georgia. Thank you for that. And Tiong, Tai Young says, hi, Mern. Hello there. Royal Doyle is here's a male 26 from Missouri. There you go. And he says that it says Missouri, not Montreal. Thank you for that. Says, I've had 3 girls that I was talking to reject me. Okay, so keep on going. You should be maybe 100 before you get one. It's a numbers game. I've reject me this week, and all say they are talking to someone else just out of the blue. I am about to give up on girls in their 20s. How old are you? 26? Yeah, they're too young. Yeah, at this point, you can go for, 24, 25, 26, even 27, maybe. When you get 30 and 31, 32, then you can look for 26, 27, 28. 20 is still trying to think that, the world's ass is opened up and the only shit that fell off of it is me. I got to see what else is out for me. Rather than go and make something out of themselves, they just want to see what they can get, how many attentions, so that would prove that they're worthy. Don't want to fuss with that. Not all, but mostly are in that age. That's what they're coming from. Hi, my name is John. I'm 18 years old, HOCD. I have experienced groanal response and I have anxiety to be bi, gay, and got intrusive thoughts that old friendship is infatuation and friendship now. Okay, I have a video called Growing Response, and you can watch that and understand. And this is what HOCD is. It makes you doubt yourself and makes you think that you're a different gender. And that's what you need to educate yourself about HOCD, how it behaves, and then help it. You're responsible. You're the boss. An organ of yours, this one is brain, is malfunctioning. It's got a little bit of a problem. It needs help. Just like your knee hurts, you help it, you rehabilitate it. Your kidney needs a little bit of help. Things you drink, things you do, exercise, your muscle needs. Brain is also a organ. It needs help sometimes. It's not your intellect. Brain is not you. So you're not thinking that, oh, something's wrong. No, it's the brain that something is malfunctioning in it, not you. You're still you. It makes suggestions and you become duped to think that the brain suggestion is representing a deity, logic, fact, and it's you. It's not. It's just an apparatus. So you got to help it to come back to health. So it will be just as, because if you were what it suggests to be, you wouldn't even be here. You wouldn't be asking this, because this would be a normal thing for you. You wouldn't even see a contradiction between who you are and what is being suggested. There's an awareness in you, and awareness only exists when there's a contradiction. Now that you've become aware that there is a difference between what this brain suggests than what I prefer, that's an awareness. And that awareness has become known to you because there's a contradiction. Contradiction represents that you are in contradiction what the brain suggests. That means contradiction means you're not what the brain suggests, because you wouldn't, if you were what the brain would suggest, you wouldn't notice the contradiction. There would be no awareness because there would be no contradiction. But there is an awareness of the contradiction because the contradiction is true, which is the difference between what the brain suggests and what you've always been and what you are, what your preference is. So that already tells you that thing is a hoax, is a malfunction, which you need to learn about it, help it, retrain and rewire the brain, and then go on with your life. Nothing has changed in you. It's just a signaling system that has caused this suggestions and intrusive thoughts and so on. And it's lingering because everybody in the world has intrusive thoughts. The difference between people with OCD or HOCD or any subset of OCD, like many others and myself that I went through it as well, is the duration that takes for the intrusive thoughts effect to dissipate and disappear. There's a mechanism called caudate nucleus in the striatum in basal ganglia that is responsible to shut down intrusive thoughts. Because everybody in the world has intrusive thoughts. When they see it, they recognize, oh, that was a nasty thought, and then boom, it disappears and they go about their business. In OCD brain, it takes longer to disappear, sometimes for a long time stays. That's why you keep doubting yourself, because it doesn't go away. Why? Because caudate nucleus is malfunctioning. Amygdala is sending danger signals when it doesn't exist, but because brain doesn't understand the difference between virtuality and actuality, so it conjures up the danger, whether to help you or whether it's so amazingly into protecting what's important to you. It sends a danger signal when there is no danger, and then that, which happens to everybody's brain. But then caudate nucleus is supposed to recognize that, oh, check it out, oh, okay, close it, and then you go about your business. In us, it doesn't do that quickly. It needs to be retrained, rewired, remembered that its job is to do this process of dissipating and disappearing and fading away this fictional danger signal faster. You know how it is when Sometimes a dog barks you out of nowhere and you startle. And some people quickly, like in dogs themselves, when they get startled or something, don't finished. Now, next subject. They're going to do about everything okay. In us, people who are suffering from OCD and so on, when that startling thing happens, as an example, in some people dissipates and then go about their business. In some of us, it's longer. It takes an hour or half an hour. Oh, oh something. Oh, that disturbed my day. That is also one reason is the lack of ki. Japanese call it ki, Chinese call it chi, which comes from meditation with subtleness, depth. See, when the water in the ocean is deeper, when a rock is thrown in it, plump goes in and quickly it recovers and the ripples disappear very fast. But when it's shallow, it hits, splashes all over, and it's moving because there's no body to get its foundation settled fast. So when your ki is weak, you need to meditate to connect yourself with the nature, bring more energy to become deeper body of water like the ocean, depth of the ocean. So when something disturbs, like a rock falls into it, the ripples quickly dissipates. So one thing, something disturbs your peace or frightens you, or you're in some kind of you're watching a movie and startle, or you walk in some dark alley, some sound startles you. If you have full of ki and energy and you meditate and your depth in foundation of connection with the nature and the sports and strength and mind is healthy and deeper, it quickly dissipates that fear. It startles you, alarms you, and you take actions, and then that's gone. Like you're deep in water, the rock has fallen and quickly engulfs it, and then because it's deep and strong, like the depth part of the ocean. So these are some of the things that are at play that you feel so startled and so shaken by these distractions that we were talking about, which at this point I forgot what I was talking about. Oh yeah, there. Okay, I think that ends our discussion here. Okay, guys, this this going on is about 3 hours. It's too long of a discussion here. Devon Z Way from New Zealand says 27 male New Zealand. Hello, Meran. I'm a nervous and introvert person. I have a strong fear of being rejected by women that I'm attracted to, that it has made lack of confidence in myself. I feel this has negatively impacted my life because when I feel attracted to a girl, my mind tells me I have no chance, so don't try. How can I improve building my confidence? Keep going to the girl that you think you got no chance. Go and talk to her and ask her. If you get rejected, hallelujah, that's great. Every time you get rejected, you get a bigger foot. I got rejected, fuck it, I don't care. I'm going to ask the next one because I love girls. I like this girl. I think she can be my girlfriend. I think I would be very good to her. And you go and ask her. She says, gives you, cold shoulder or brushes it off. None of them going to kill you, and none of them going to say, fuck off, asshole. Because if they do that, then that was the wrong girl to approach anyhow. Thank God you just saw it, because that's not the girl you want to have anything to do with it. None of them will do that. So what is it? Your ego has become more important than you. The image you have created of yourself has become more important than you yourself. So you're afraid, what's going to happen to my image if she rejects me? Because then my own thoughts, who's watching me from above as a watcher, because there's a watcher, and that watcher is your own thoughts. That watcher is watching the image you have made out of yourself in your own mind. And you are described to the watcher, which is your own thought, based on the picture, the image you have created out of yourself. So you don't want that image to be tarnished by having someone that you have a picture of yourself that I'm very valuable, I'm very worthy, and I'm a very good person. And that rejection just shit all over your image. And you don't want that watcher in its eyes, which is you yourself, your thoughts, think that you're less than the image that you had created of yourself. That's the feeling. You're protecting that image more than being concerned about you, rather than fuck the image. What is the image? You destroy the image, you make another image. Every time you go to a store, you have an image of a shopper, and if you're working at the store, you have an image of a clerk. If you're at the bus, you have an image of a passenger. If you're driving the bus, you have the image of the driver. If you're at school, you have an image of a student. You're teaching the course, you have an image of a teacher. At your parents, you have an image of a child. With your children, you have an image of a parent. These images of father or mother, these images are constantly come and go depending on what it is that you're active, what it is that you're approaching in daily life. So image worth nothing. But that image has become more important to you than you are. So you're so worried about what's going to happen to my image if she rejects me. Who cares? Who gives a fuck? Who the fuck is she that she's actually can demean you and diminish you just because she said, no. Would you like an orange? No, I don't like an orange. You're okay with that. But if you say, would you like to go out with you? No, I don't like to go out with you. Oh, no, my goodness. It's the same thing as offering her an orange. She didn't want to have an orange. You're okay with that. She didn't want to go out with you. I'm okay with that. No big deal. Why? There's millions of other girls. I'll try another one. Okay, I'll spend my money on her for coffee, tea, or lunch or dinner, and I serve her the best of my ability to give her a good time and be a good company, a gentleman. You don't want it? No problem. I still have what I can give. You not wanting me doesn't take away what I can give to other girls. So rejection actually is good. Why? Every time you get rejected, you're one step closer to the one that is going to say yes. So you got to go through as many rejections as you can. Any girl you like, go on politely. If it's called for, if it's proper, you approach and introduce yourself. And she says, fuck off. Says, thank you very much. I'm now one closer to the girl that I'm looking for. Great. Have a nice day. You go. That's what you say to yourself. Don't say it to her. It looks crazy. So, so rejection is no demeaning you. Rejection does not tarnish you. Rejection does not endanger you. Rejection does not demean you or diminish your value at all whatsoever. What it does, it gets you one step closer to the target, to the one that you actually would be successful to hear a sympathetic response and something to your liking. So, okay, guys, I think we answered all the questions as much as possibly. It's time for me to say I love you all. Thank you very much for being here, giving the opportunity to share a thing or two with you. I look forward to our next live stream. It's about 3 hours, and it's time for me to go. I'm sorry, Leon. Maybe next time. It says, thank you for your content. I find myself very needy lately. Okay, you guys remember, you can make an appointment with my site and we'll discuss what's concerning you on Skype. Mind that seeks truth.com. And for every 1 hour appointment, I'll add another 30 minutes. So we'll have plenty of time to discuss what's concerning you one-on-one on Skype. Again, I love you all. Thank you very much for being here, giving the opportunity to share a thing or two with you. I look forward to our next live stream. In the meantime, be good to yourself and to the others, and promote the channel and click on the like. So when I go live, and click on the like and the bell. So when I go live, you'll be notified. Hopefully, again, be good to yourself, to the others. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now. Subscribe on my channel, visit my channel, and go through the videos that you might be interested in. Mind@seekstruth.com, making it one step away to talk to me one-on-one on Skype and discuss what's concerning you. I'll talk to you soon. But we too, like the iceberg, have 1,000 times bigger powers that is not visible, and we must. Why? Is it something we're rambling on and I expect you to accept it? Or is there actually another power within us? Would you come and help me out? Okay. What I want you to do is put your hands underneath my arms and just lift me up. There we go. Okay, now, that's my physical part, right? Same thing. Again, with that. Just want to see if there's any difference. Go ahead. Now, go ahead. Now, this, go ahead, when you're ready.
Go ahead.
So you see, this is different than what he was doing, and I'm not really doing anything. You convinced?
Yeah.
So are you guys convinced that there is something other than, thank you. Thank you very much.